Well, it is go time, right? Tomorrow is the big day. You can see in the monitor behind me. And I've also got it on the screen here. That's the National Weather Service watch warning map, and focused here on the west side of the state. The first kind of battleship gray or blue color, that's the winter storm watch that starts around noon tomorrow, goes through the day Saturday. Notice this includes the coast. It's literally all of western Oregon down through Cottage Grove, and then northward up across the Long Beach Peninsula and into parts of Cowlitz County. And then when you start getting up into the east side of Cowlitz County, getting up to some elevation, and then over into Skamania County and down through the Cascades, it's a winter storm warning. The battleship gray, the storm watch for now, up through the Columbia River Gorge. So everything still looks like this storm is coming in, shall we say, first thing tomorrow morning in terms of colder weather coming in. All right. So I want to get you through some headlines. So the timing hasn't changed. This cold Arctic air mass comes across, it's now moving down across Washington. It will drop across the Columbia River tomorrow morning, continue to surge a little bit, increasingly to the south. And we will be getting into east winds developing tomorrow morning, temperatures falling during the day. So I said this yesterday, as you look at the headlines. Whatever the temperature is here in the valley and the coast for that matter, Southwest Washington, Portland, whatever the temperature is when you wake up in the morning, that's likely going to be the high for the day, unless it was even earlier. During the afternoon, temperature is falling down to about 30, 32. East winds developing in the morning. Once you feel that east wind, you know the cold air advection has started. We will develop some snow. Now, it's looking increasingly likely at this hour that precip tomorrow, especially near the Gorge and in the North Valley, Portland up into Vancouver, will be mostly light snow showers or flurries kind of blowing around in the wind. I don't think we get a lot of accumulation. We may, in fact, get enough snow shower activity to cover the ground white, but I'm not looking for a lot of depth here. And again, it mostly could be just kind of blowing snow showers around. Friday night is when the heavier moisture arrives. And I say into the valley, definitely heavier moisture picking up in the South Valley, Eugene, Salem. Maybe not entirely true up into Portland, but certainly at some point, AM hours of Saturday through the day, the moisture depth just gets bigger and bigger. That's from that Pacific low that's going to be coming in. So the most important headline on all of this would be increasing threat of freezing rain and sleet as that deeper moisture comes in Friday overnight, and then significant accumulations of ice in some areas and snow in some areas during the day Saturday. It still looks like fairly quickly Saturday evening into the night, the moisture ends, the storm pulls out, and then we're just left with cold weather. But I think this will be a variable storm in some areas, really putting ice storm in the books, while other areas we had mostly snow in the books. Going to be interesting. Better chance of ice the farther south you go, the better chance of it being primarily snow, the closer you are to the outflow of east winds through the Columbia River Gorge. Low temps and high temps are still going to be bitterly cold. Low temps Sunday morning. Now we're dry. We've got some partial clearing, 10 degrees to 20 in the valley. Gusty east winds 25 to 30. Low temps Monday morning still about the same, 10 to 19. Winds start to calm Monday. Highs will warm up into the low to mid 30s, perhaps getting above freezing for the first time. Tuesday, low temps still cold, 18, 25. Highs warming to about 40. There's significant warming, I think, happening on Tuesday during the day. All right, I want to talk about this. This is the wind chill factor. This is going to be a big part of this cold coming in. So what I've done here is I've circled for the weekend the temperature range for Saturday specifically. Generally, Portland, Salem, anywhere from about 20 to 25 is where we're going to spend much of the day. Again, the temperature is not going to warm up by more than around 5 degrees. The winds are going to be from the east, and they're going to be blowing in this 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40 mile per hour range. So you put those two together, and you come up with a wind chill factor anywhere from it feels like 6 to 13 to 1 to 8 to 0 to just below 0. Basically, the average of all that means it's going to feel like it's anywhere from 0 to about 10 degrees during the day. And if you're going to be up in the Cascades, if you're planning on recreating up on Mount Hood, wind chill factors will be dangerously cold. They will be 25 degrees below 0. 25 degrees below 0. How about that? All right. I've got one graphic courtesy of KGW TV to show you. This is KGW's Futurecast. Notice the timestamp up here. This is Saturday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. The green is rain. The salmon color is ice. The blue, white tones are snow. The white tones are light snow. The blue tones, the darker they get, a little bit heavier snow. But look at the mixed bag here. This is, follow my mouse. This is Pacific moisture being tossed inland with the Pacific low that's hanging out down in here. This shows there's rain in southern Oregon, even rain moving up some of the foothills of the Cascades in southern Oregon, up into central Oregon. You've got ice, which could be, I'm not sure, in some areas it could be more freezing rain, but in other areas it could be more sleet. Again, sleet is the raindrop freezes in the air into a chunk of ice, an ice ball, versus freezing rain is liquid until it hits the surface and freezes. But this is some form of icing, potentially in Newport, Tillamook at the coast, Eugene, Salem, up into some of the foothills of the Cascades. And then you've got some ice here in the North Valley, Portland, and Clark County, but mostly snow and mostly light snow. And then you've got everything dry by the time you get up into Longview. This entire storm, Portland's going to be right here on this northern fringe of where it dries out. Remember, this is Arctic air dropping down from Canada. There's no moisture source. The only moisture source is as the Arctic air moves in tomorrow, and the frontal boundary will channel, watch my mouse, will channel a pull of some moisture coming in from the northwest. Other than that, the only moisture available once the cold air is in place is this Pacific low. And it doesn't look like any of this moisture will get much north of the Columbia River. So, that's kind of interesting. Now, I want to take you through some individual different types of precipitation. So this is the National Blended Model. I think most of these coming up are. And this is like a futurecast. It's like the radar. So here we are this afternoon. Notice there's not much moisture up here in Seattle or north. This is rain channeling in ahead of the front and a northwesterly flow. We've got rain showers. We've got snow levels to about 1,500 feet. Let me play it through the night. You can tell the front's coming in, right? Notice how the march of moisture drops to the south. That's along and near the front. I mean, this is 4 a.m. tomorrow morning. And the heavier moisture already dropping south of the Columbia River. Not hardly anything up here to the north. Let's go ahead and play it and see what happens. And then the moisture, the front kind of stalls. See the moisture kind of hanging out. This is in the afternoon. Here's that ball of moisture from that Pacific low starting to appear. All right, but it's not inland yet, really. Now this is 4 p.m. Friday. Now this moisture is starting to move to the southern and central coast and starting to push inland. Again, this is not showing you precip types. It's just showing you moisture. Now watch Friday night into Saturday morning how all of this slowly pushes up to the north, okay? Here it comes. Oh, let me back up. Here it comes. Watch it fall apart. Here it comes. Oh, it drops off. Why is that? Remember, you've got east winds blowing cold, dry air by nature through the gorge, literally eating up this moisture. As this moisture flows north and gets into the gorge outflow around the Columbia River in the Portland metro, a lot of this moisture is going to evaporate. That's why it kind of hangs out down to the south. We see this all the time whenever we get an east gorge flow. And I think, yeah, that was the last frame. Okay, let me show you. That was just showing you general precipitation. Doesn't tell you what it was. This shows you snow. And let's start Friday morning at 4 a.m. Here's the snow in the Cascades. Here's snow in the Coast Range. A little bit of light snow up here in Washington, in the valleys. Let's go and play this into, would be around 10 a.m. In the morning. The light gray colors show we've now got snow showers in Portland and the North Valley, and see 0.03, 0.2, 0.1. That's showing there's a chance of a dusting of snow that's coming in and starting to maybe produce some dusting of white on the ground. I'm not sure if that's correct, but we definitely have some snow falling. Let's go and play this into 4 p.m. Here's 4 p.m. Snow amounts didn't change much, did they? We're still looking at generally less than an inch of snow around Portland. So that's a dusting, or the snow's blowing around so much that it never really collects that much. Certainly not on highways, I think. So driving may not be that bad during the afternoon. This is snow still hitting the valley. Again, this is only picking up snow. Only picking up snow. All right, let's go to Saturday morning. Oh, now we've got something. Now we've got a couple inches around Portland. We've got a little bit of snow that had fallen up around Kelso, Longview, but still just light amounts outside of the Cascades. Let's play it into Saturday, 4 p.m. There are the amounts now jumping 2-3 inches. So if this is right through Saturday p.m., Portland would have the potential of 3 inches of solid snow on the ground. So that's more than a dusting. 3 inches is right there where you're starting to take away where you can't see the grass, right? Assuming it's, been mowed, etc. Okay, let's go ahead and show you a different type of precip. This is interesting. This is ice. This is accumulating sleet or freezing rain. So let's play this. Let's stop at Friday at 4 p.m. Here's Friday at 4 p.m. Just starting to see accumulating ice down here across portions of just Lynn County, still south of Marion County. Let's go into the night and let's stop it at 4 a.m. Saturday morning. We've got some icing up and down the coast. Remember, the coast is in this winter storm. We've got a 1/10 of an inch of ice accumulation now, especially in the Coast Range mountains getting down to parts of the Central Valley. No ice up in Portland. It's all snow. Let's go and just now watch this ice explode. Okay, here we go. This is significant icing. This is more than 1/4 of an inch of ice now down here again in Lynn County and also parts of Lane County, still south of Marion. Some decent icing over the Coast Range. Boy, that's going to be tough traveling, right? Light ice accumulations all the way up into parts of Clackamas County. But so far, just all snow in terms of accumulation in Portland. Let's go ahead and play this into Sunday morning. Mainly all snow in Portland. Here's that ice accumulation, 4/10 of an inch down around Eugene. And that's pretty much it for the precip. So that really defines who's going to get ice and who's not. And Portland is in the not category. Certainly there could be a mixing of some ice and snow in Portland, but the models really like snow where the gorge, because the gorge is blowing in cold air and it's basically producing a depth of cold air all the way up to the cloud base that's just snow. When you get away from the gorge blowing in and kind of a wedge of depth of cold air, when you get away from that gorge outflow, now the cold air gets more shallow, and now you've got rain falling into it, and you've got sleet or freezing rain. So that's what's going on. All right, this shows you wind. I hope you find this interesting. I really do. This is Friday morning. We're going to be looking at east winds developing. I'm going to play this into Friday, 4 p.m. I just want you to notice here where my cursor is. This is that wind burst, east winds coming out of the Columbia River Gorge, gusting. This would be sustained winds. Sustained winds, it looks like, to around 16, 18 miles per hour. There's kind of a northeast wind flow down through the Salem area. So this is cold air advection. Follow the arrows. It's cold air advection all the way off of the coast. But the big wind is right here in the gorge. Let's see what happens when we play this into Saturday morning. Here's Saturday morning. Oh, wow. Look at the bright colors. Now we've got sustained winds 30 miles per hour in the gorge. That means gust easily to 45, maybe to 50. And remember, the gorge is going to be looking at snow. There could be, I'm not sure if there's enough moisture in the gorge to produce a foot of snow, but certainly a possibility. Ultimately, the amount of moisture is really inconclusive and hard to tell. If you're traveling over the Coast Range, the North Coast Range, the good chance of it's snow, or maybe it's a snow icy mix. When you get down into the passes going into Newport, Lincoln City, there's a good chance there's a lot of ice there. Let's see what happens Friday afternoon. Here's 4 p.m. Still that wind bullseye coming out of the gorge. And let's go into Sunday morning. Now we're dry. East wind's fading a little bit, but they're still there. East wind's still fading, but enough of an east wind to really produce a wind chill, especially out near the gorge. And that continues into Monday. Eventually going into Tuesday, I think those winds will really fade away. All right. Last thing we're going to look at here in this layer by layer, if you will, is what the temperatures are doing. I don't think these temperatures are exactly right, but they're in the ballpark. This shows 4 a.m. We're 38 down in Salem. We're around freezing in Portland. I think we'll be a little bit warmer, but maybe not. Again, we're going to see rain change to snow in the early morning hours. Notice how if I played through 4 o'clock, these temperatures didn't budge. They basically held around freezing or dropped 28 to 30 in Portland. They dropped. That's snow. That's still rain, or at least above freezing, and wet roadways in Salem down to Eugene. Again, this is tomorrow. Let's go into Saturday morning. Look at this cold air up in here start to pour in. This is Saturday, 4 a.m. Look at the teens. Oh, my goodness gracious. 19 in Kelso Longview, 14 to 16 in Portland Metro, 21 down in Salem, 21 in Tillamook, warmer down in the Central Coast or South Coast, 47 to 40. South Eugene, 40 degrees. Again, as you travel south with this storm, you're going to find improving conditions. As you travel north of 5-5, it's going to get colder than cold, but you're going to find drying conditions. It's important to mention. And we do expect the snow through the gorge and, of course, the snow with the winter storm in place up over the Cascades. Let's play this into Saturday, 4 p.m. Look how cold we are. Not even 20 degrees in some spots. Again, we're going to see fairly steady temperatures Saturday, no more than a 5-degree range. Let's play it into Sunday morning. Here are the teens again, 17, 16, 18 in the Valley, 18 in Salem. Good grief. And there's a wind chill with that. Remember the wind chill factor between 0 and 10 degrees? Here's Sunday afternoon, trying to get up to 30 in parts of the West Portland Metro. Let's play it into Monday afternoon, see where we are. Get only around freezing. Wow. Tuesday's the day that we really have the best chance to start to see some freezing. So I hope you enjoyed that. That was kind of a layer by layer look at our immediate northwest area. Here's the bigger area, so you can, the United States, obviously, so you can see the air mass. Here's the Arctic air mass Thursday in purple. Just want you to watch it. I'll play it into Friday morning. You see now the purple is definitely coming down across the Columbia River into the Columbia Basin. We're feeding east winds and very cold air off of it. Here's Saturday, that cold air just sits in the Columbia Basin down into Central Oregon, east winds feeding. Boy, it's really cold stuff, isn't it? Still feeding off of it big time into Sunday, cold Arctic air in place. Wow. Even though we're on the periphery of it, really cold. Here's Sunday. Now we're just now seeing the first signs Sunday afternoon of the outer periphery of this air mass move out of our area. By Monday, yeah, the main core of the air is now a clean break, and that sets the table for Tuesday to get a little warmer. Here's Tuesday. Now we've actually got noticeable warming. It's going to be tough to warm up the lower levels, but certainly aloft, we're getting some mixing and warming up over the Cascades. The cold air core drops all the way down into Texas. Isn't that going to be something? Wow. Okay. All right. So that's the main look at the storm. Again, courtesy of Hillcrest Ski and Sports in Gresham. 28 in Mount Hood Meadows right now. They have a base of 75 inches. Wow. I'm not sure about Mount Hood snow amounts because, again, the moisture is limited. I've got 8 to 14 tomorrow, 5 to 10 Saturday. My thinking is maybe I'm too high. I don't know. Cold air, again, loses the capacity to hold a lot of moisture. But certainly Sunday, Monday, Tuesday's dry. Certainly the temperatures are going to be 0 at pass level. Wind chills are going to be minus 25. Look at Government Camp right now. Very icy roads, but ODOT's keeping it plowed. 27, 28 degrees. Really cold, cold stuff. Okay, let's see here. I want to show you the latest bend. Oh, let me find, yeah, I'm sorry, let me find it's my own website and I can't find the link. I want to click on Ben. Some of you people have been watching from over in beautiful Central Oregon. Here are your temperatures. Look at this. Friday morning, 1. Snow likely, definitely accumulations. There's a storm warning out for Central Oregon, getting up to around 33. That's misleading. That's going to be probably around midnight. So you're going to be in the single digits during the day to no warmer than 10. Saturday, 6 to 13, heavy snow. And like the rest of us, you quickly go dry on Sunday, but 11 to 24, 28 to 24 on Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day, warming up significantly Tuesday, and then that next system comes in on Wednesday and Thursday. Really, really cold stuff. Wow. Let's check out one more. Let's think I can back this out. I'm just curious. Let's go up here to Pullman. Do we have any Washington State Cougar fans? Here's Pullman. How about -1 to 7 on Saturday, 7 to 9 on Sunday, 15 to 15 on Dr. Martin Luther King Day, still in the low 20s on Tuesday. This is the air that our east winds in the gorge will be feeding off of here on the west side. That's why the west side is going to take a while to warm up, right? Here are my latest numbers. 38 in the morning, down to 30 during the day on Friday, Saturday 20 to 24, Sunday 16 to 28, 16 to 32, 22 to 40 on Tuesday. Again, most of the east winds will really be noticeably calmer late Sunday into Dr. Martin Luther King Day. So, just to wrap it up, at most, a lot of the modeling is showing that Portland, in terms of snow on the ground in the North Valley in Clark County, in terms of total snow on the ground from the storm, does not exceed 4 inches. And you can make the case with how dry and fluffy the snow is going to be, and with it being light blowing snow showers and flurries on Friday, then maybe it's less than 4 inches. Maybe it's a dusting to 1 to 2, but probably something covering the ground. And then there's going to be a mix of icing, although the main threat of an ice storm is south of the gorge outflow. So that's basically from about Wilsonville, maybe West Lynn, down into Salem. There's probably going to be a bad ice storm down there somewhere in Marion County between Salem and Eugene up into the coast range and potentially all the way to the coast, okay? Lots to keep tabs on. I, of course, will talk to you tomorrow. My weather site's portlandweather.com. I'm Rod Hill. Thanks for subscribing to my weather channel and watching my work. I'll talk to you soon.